Hello, welcome to Outside Xbox. You're watching Show of the Week. I'm Andy.
And I'm Jane. This week I was investigating rumours that Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice actually deletes your save games if you die too many times.
That's nothing new. All games do that.
No, that was me. I deleted your save games to make room for my Mass Effect gamer picks.
I thought it seemed a bit harsh. Man, all those saves. Dishonored, Fallout, BioShock.
Oh, speaking of which, did you know it's the 10th anniversary of the launch of the original BioShock this week?
Well, you can delete my saves, but you'll never delete my precious memories of the original
What? Oh, I'm putting up shelves later. Honestly, it's so paranoid. Silly.
I rejected those answers. Instead, I chose something different. I chose the impossible. I chose rapture.
10 years, Andy.
That's
10
can't be
long
that long.
years. I know,
Surely.
right?
When was that? 2001?
Yeah, it came out in 2007.
Yeah, that's
very-
2017 minus 10.
Yes.
Doing well on the maths here. So yeah, do you remember playing BioShock?
I
first time
do.
out?
I don't think I played it the month it came out. I came to a bit later, I believe. It's weird to think that it's that old a game.
Yeah, I mean, it
so
feels
fresh.
It feels like BioShock's been around forever. Ken Levine has been around doing his thing forever. I do remember playing it when it first came out. I remember thinking like this is a really, really good horror game at the time, and the series moved a bit away from that, I think, which is probably for the best. But at the time, I remember playing it and being really
Scared.
Yeah, scared.
Terrified. Those opening moments when you're in the bathysphere, I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to play this game. This is I don't know that it ever gets more terrifying than those first few moments.
I don't know. There's the stuff in the the plastic surgeons.
That was hella creepy. But I didn't have that horror vibe where I'm scared to even move.
I want to make them beautiful, but they always turn out wrong. That one's too fat. This one's too tall. This one's too symmetrical. And now, what's this, guys? An intruder. He's ugly.
It had some cool mechanics in there that I hadn't seen before that I really liked. And I think they took out in later games as well. Like, do you remember you had to photograph splicers in the first one?
Yeah.
And you would get like research data, and it would give you sort of damage upgrades against things.
Camera modes.
Yeah, you had
Can't
like
get
an
enough of them.
old-timey camera.
Yeah, there was an achievement, wasn't there, for like horribly murdering one of the sort of demi-bosses and then taking a photo of him.
Oh, Sander Cohen.
Ironically, that's it.
Yeah, the
that's
ironic, because he had this art gallery of like posed dead people.
Yeah.
And you could sort of take a photo
Pose
of his
him.
corpse, and it was like, it's ironic.
It's so ironic.
So ironic.
Do you get it, Sander?
It's like, and he's like,
Selfie.
Yes, I get it. Yeah, I remember at the time thinking that the dual firepower thing, so plasmids on one hand and guns on the other, was really cool. And like all the different combos you could do, set them on fire and then shotgun them, or just put a swarm of bees.
Yeah.
Get them covered in bees.
Like in Skyrim, but not with bees. Yeah, that was interesting. I wonder how that came to Ken Levine as an idea, like coming up with the powers on the whiteboard, like fire, electricity, obviously.
Good, yeah.
Yeah, good. And then someone's like, bees.
Well, I mean, obviously bees. I mean, goes without saying. Can you get the bees on there?
I'm going to stop you there. Can you go back one?
Go on.
Fire? No, back another.
The
bees?
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 Well, I thought I went without saying.
Is that not why we got into this business?
To make bee hands. You guys like swarms of things, right?
There was a lot of bee husbandry going on in Rapture before the fall.
Yeah.
And if you want to make honey, you're going to need a lot of bees. You just build your apiary and just fire. Just fire tons of bees.
Tons of bees into it.
Angry bees.
You know how
make
it is.
honey.
Well, they're all like
Make
labour-saving
honey.
devices, except it's like at
Except
the end
for
of a
the
long
bees.
day at the office, you
Yeah.
just want to kick back and fill a room with bees. Because
Maybe it was like a rejected sample from R&D.
Yeah.
They're like, well, we tried the bee product. It didn't go down well with our test market audience.
it's fine. We'll have a
focus
discount
groups.
line, insect swarm,
Yeah.
rising damp.
Maybe it's like
one.
pepper spray, or it's like a weapon.
like
It's
a
a
deterrent.
deterrent. Yeah, just like
That's what they
angry
have-
dog attacks you, bees.
That's how they describe Murder of
Bees
Crows
attack
in
you,
BioShock Infinite.
dog.
It's like perfect for home defence.
I undermines the idea that if you've created a perfect utopia, there will be no crime. There
Yeah.
will be no crime. There's a tagline for your bee
There will
deterrent.
be no crime
Yeah.
when criminals are covered in bees.
Yeah.
Anyway, we've got off topic talking about bee
Yeah,
hands here.
plasmids and whatnot.
Yeah.
I really liked all the in-universe flavour stuff because it's in many ways a very absurd, like heightened version of the kind of political ideology it's doing. Obviously, like that. Plus sci-fi, plus genetic, engineering. But I like how consistent it is in that fantasy where it is like, we're trying to sell these as products. They're products.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, don't tell me I can't sell bee hands in this libertarian utopia.
Welcome to the circus of value!
But yeah, I remember like exploring Rapture for the first time, and I really appreciate a first-person shooter that gives you that level of sort of environmental storytelling, because when you're wandering around looking at things, which I really enjoy doing in a first-person game, rather than just getting straight into the action, I spent ages just walking around and looking at like adverts on the walls and like posters for events, and even walking around like people's offices and going through their drawers and listening to the audio diaries.
I've heard it described as an archaeological approach to storytelling, which I think is nice. In that you're like an archaeologist delving through layers of like what went wrong here and what it was like before everything went wrong here.
Could I have made mistakes? One does not build cities if one is guided by doubt.
Tacoma, that game that just came out.
Oh, yeah.
That's basically just that as the entire game. So you're on a space station and you're walking around and you're sort of piecing together what happened. There's no combat. They've taken all that out of it and just left that element of the game. But I mean, that probably wouldn't exist without games like BioShock.
Right,
paving
like
the
how
way.
the environment can tell a story rather than just being the backdrop for a story happening around you.
But I mean, it does have sort of an active story as well as the passive story as well. And that as well, with that big twist at the end. I mean, spoilers if you've not played BioShock.
Again, very influential. That
Yeah.
was, it's like the Shyamalan moment.
But
in a good way, in the, like the Sixth Sense way, not the Lady in the Water way.
the twist in the original BioShock, I thought it was more affecting than a lot of big twists in movies because I was sort of personally invested in the story. And then, turned out, spoiler alert.
It's 10 years.
Yeah.
I think we can call it at 10 years. If you haven't
Spoiler
played
alert.
BioShock, you're probably not getting a lot out of this discussion.
Yeah.
But also, spoilers.
Fontaine is Atlas.
Yeah.
Yeah. that's
Right. Yeah, and you were doing it all because you were conditioned. Yeah, and that is why it was a clever and thematically appropriate twist, and that casts everything else you've done in a completely different light.
Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find that? Would you kindly find? Would you kindly get this? Would you kindly head to Ryan's office and kill the son of a bitch?
The whole thing with the little sisters as well, I thought was really interesting in the game because it's presented as a moral choice. It's like, do you harvest or save the little sisters? And I mean, I don't know anyone who harvested. Do you harvest the little sisters?
No, I feel like that moral choice wasn't weighted super heavily in favour of you going, I really don't know what to do here. But
it was like one, if you kill one little sister. If you say
you're allowed one.
Yeah, you're allowed one.
Everyone's allowed one.
But then if you kill any
First
more
time
than
is
one,
free.
that's it. They're
Yeah.
done. You get the bad ending.
You took what you wanted. All the atom, all the power.
I thought the dynamic with the little sisters and the big daddies was really, really cool. Just the big daddy as a design is such a cool... I mean, it ties in with what Rapture is, with the kind of the deep sea diver and thing, but also they're so like melancholy and sad with the sort of whale song noise that they make. I just thought they were brilliant as an enemy. Like, you sort of feel sorry for them and you feel bad when you fight them, and then the little sister's like crying.
They're
and it's just
tragic
like,
figures.
Yeah, it's
Every great monster has like that note of tragedy, right? He's like a Frankenstein.
It was amazing.
He's a monster.
Yes. But I'm hoping that the series isn't done because, now that Levine has left and Irrational, who owns Irrational now? Is it still 2K?
Yeah, well, Irrational doesn't exist anymore, but 2K owns his studio.
And they own the IP.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'd like them to do more with the sort of the universe and the ideas. It's like, where do you go after what they've done already, though? You've got Under the Sea, In the Sky.
Volcano layer.
Yeah, active volcano on the moon, maybe.
It was fantastically profitable, right, that series? So you'd have thought 2K would be like, let's get someone to make another BioShock game.
Yeah, but if they make a kind of rubbish, rushed spin-off, High school, set in high school. And Andy Ryan is the science nerd, and Frankie Fontaine is the jock. They're feuding.
A man chooses, a slave obeys.
So through the the BioShock next game generator, the BioShock sequel generator, you pull a lever, right? And it goes political ideology, historical period, and location, like under the sea or in the clouds or on the moon, and then that's it. That's your next BioShock. So you go crank, and then it's like, and you hit me.
Okay.
Political ideology.
Political ideology. Marxism.
Marxism, and then you need a historical period.
Okay.
Old-timey alternate universe
the Wild
historical
West.
period. The Wild West, and then bam, location. You've already said the Wild West.
The moon.
Wild West on the moon.
They've set up the
Cowboys
Wild West on the
went
moon.
to the moon.
And they're all Marxists.
Marxist utopia turned dystopia.
Yeah.
Bam, there you go, BioShock 4.
Great. Okay.
Done.
I'm
Now
in charge.
you're the new Ken Levine, Andy.
Yeah.
Get to it. Chop
Guys,
chop.
all
I
right.
need a new BioShock.
Wait, I'm going to start coding it now.
He's doing it. C++ all over the place.
How do you code?
In preparing for today's show, I read something interesting, which was they are so into genetic manipulation.
Right.
So into it, like really into it, in Rapture.
BioShock. Okay.
In BioShock
Just in
1
general.
specifically, and in Rapture. But they don't seemingly have any computers, right? Everything is like Steam-based. They might have very basic, like, mechanical.
It's like the 60s, right?
Yeah.
So.
Because actually, you need computers to make sense of genetic data. You can't.
Well, that's probably why everything went wrong. They were just eyeballing it.
Just
like,
some of the G, some of the A, some of the T,
God.
some of the C. It's a Gattaca. Yeah. There you go. No computers. You just have to like do it by. Yeah.
But it's like
guesswork.
It's because they discovered Adam, right? And that's this weird.
It allows you to rewrite genetic code.
But how are they rewriting it without computers?
So you take some Adam.
Yeah.
And then you put it in a person.
You just jam them full of Adam.
And then you show them like some fire, and their DNA looks at the fire, and it goes, "I'll become fire DNA."
Okay.
Yeah. I think the Nobel Committee has my mailing address.
So you think it's a more like mutagenic kind of thing?
Well, they're sucking like stem cells out of a sea
slugs,
slug,
yeah.
basically.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess maybe it's just random. You just suck on a sea slug and then you see what you get.
And if someone gets fire hands, they're like, great.
Perfect, exactly what I was hoping for.
Yep,
Or
take
someone just gets baby legs and they're like,
no, one for the scrap heap.
Man, now I've got the legs of a baby. Am I supposed to get around on these?
It was really nice, actually, reminiscing about BioShock.
Yeah, I love those games.
If I was a scientist in the anything goes utopia of Rapture, maybe I could get the funding and approval I need at last for my reckless scientific research.
Oh wait, you're what?
My important scientific research. What did you hear?
Go on.
Well, Mike, in the name of science, I've been studying all the genetic meddling that goes on in video games, and I think I might have missed my calling as a genetic engineer. I might not be the most rigorous, qualified, or ethical amateur geneticist on the block, but if I could produce results that were even marginally less horrifying than these 5 efforts, I would count that as a win.
Steady now. Your genetic code is being rewritten. Just hold on and everything will be fine.
You can sort of see the thinking of the entrepreneurs who came up with the gene-rewriting plasmids in BioShock's City of Rapture, who originally invented them to be everyday time-savers. After all, being able to move things with your mind, for example, would be extremely useful for drinking tea while playing twin-stick shooters. However, we're still not clear on what was the original purpose of the plasmid that lets you fire bees from your hands. Does anyone want to buy some locally produced honey? I'm drowning in the stuff. One negative side effect of plasmids is that they do a bit turn you into a murderous splicer who retains only mere shreds of their original personality. So Rapture is teeming with people who've been driven mad by plasmid abuse.
Surprise! Jump!
It seems a steep price to pay for being able to casually light someone's cigarette with your fingertips. Incidentally, I'm still working on that particular party trick.
The unity will bring about the master race.
Master.
Master! One able to survive, or even
Thrive.
in the wasteland.
Designed by a hyper-intelligent supercomputer, Fallout's Forced Evolutionary Virus initially sounds like a good thing, until you remember that although evolution gave us such treats as binocular vision and opposable thumbs, it's also the reason star-nosed moles exist. The results of the Forced Evolutionary Virus, or FEV, in Fallout are similarly gross, turning ordinary humans into huge, grumpy, Incredible Hulk cosplayers called super mutants. To be honest, that's not what we were picturing when we imagined humanity's final evolutionary form. Ours involved an additional stomach, just for pizza. Besides, the FEV renders its mutant victims completely sterile, which means these not-so-jolly green giants can't reproduce, and as a species, will last all of a single generation. Nice one, supercomputer. Back to your MS Paint drawing board.
It's sheer perfection. My precious G-Virus. No one will ever take you away from me.
If you were a scientist with the ultimate goal of improving the human race, at what point do you think you'd realise you'd made a wrong turn somewhere? Is it the point at which all your research staff have turned into flesh-eating zombies? Or is it the point at which an entire city is overrun with the undead as a direct result of your research?
By the time I noticed something was wrong, the entire city was infested with zombies.
Or the point at which one of your company's founders is lurching around one of your research facilities and is now a freaky-ass leech monster.
You'll pay for what you've done. We'll see which one of us is gonna die.
Hopefully, though, you're more sensible than the Umbrella Corporation and would have come to that conclusion before your stupid zombie-making T-virus got out and killed everybody. If you've really got to genetically engineer something, Umbrella, why not, I don't know, make some tastier apples? Oh, no, we're going to get zombie apples now, aren't we? Big Boss was a legendary soldier, which is why the US government thought it would be a good idea to clone him, so they'd have spares. This plan later changed, so that one of the twin clones, Solid Snake, would express all of Big Boss's dominant genes such as scowling, gruffness, and headband, while the other, Liquid Snake, would express his recessive genes such as Britishness, mullet, and whining.
I got all of the recessive genes!
Unfortunately, a side effect of all this genetic engineering was that Solid Snake ages much faster than a regular person, but at least he got a better deal than the Genome Soldiers, who got some of Big Boss's soldier genes, but apparently the situational awareness genes of a busted Roomba.
Huh? What was that noise? Huh? Mr. Box.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth. And I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
You're still here. It can't be all that bad.
Krogans are a belligerent, warlike race, and you'd probably think twice about inviting one to a party if you didn't want it to end in a punch-up. But even with that said, it's going a bit far to genetically engineer a virus that all but sterilises the entire species. Still, that's what the Solarians did in the Mass Effect series, something which did little to endear them to the Krogans. Maybe try singing a funny song, Mordin. That might bring them round.
I am the very model of a scientist Solarian.
You are given the chance to cure the Genophage in Mass Effect 3, but as with all big decisions, you have to weigh up your options. On the one hand, you're stopping an entire species being wiped out. On the other, you'd be destroying the flourishing black market trade in Krogan testicles.
They'll pay up to 10,000 credits each. That's 40,000 for a full set.
I mean, that's good money, guys. You can see my dilemma.
Now it's time to see what's in the YouTube comments and on this audio diary I found lying around the Outside Xbox office.
Daytona, let's go away,
All right,
Daytona.
Okay, first up this week, your comments on this video in which Jane and I played Wolfenstein sequel The New Colossus, in which we rode a rocket train. All right, activate train.
Off to Area 52.
Yeah.
It's one better than Area 51.
Are we facing out the back?
It looks like it. That's the rocket engine, isn't it?
Get blasted by the rockets. Can we see out the front? I want to see where I'm going rather than where I've been.
Whoa!
Whoa! Okay.
There's a guy.
Commenter Apex Penguin would like to offer some constructive feedback on this speculative rocket train design, saying, that rocket train seems like it was designed pretty poorly. You wouldn't want the jet engines on the back, you'd want them on the top or sides of the first. That's just rocket train building 101.
Oh yeah, you got to do that, otherwise the whole thing's just going to lift off, like when I tried to convert your car into a rocket car, Mike.
Wait, when was that?
Just now. Commenter Kale Salmond, meanwhile, was more surprised that, at 6:02, wait, did Mike just successfully stealth?
Okay, wait.
Okay. Then goes on to say, at 6:07, okay, never mind. Oh.
Well,
Cover blown in 3 or 4 seconds.
Yeah, it's a new record for me.
Classic Mike.
So close.
Go menace him. I think he dropped into that. There you go. Oh, he's got a gun. He's armed.
Oh, what kind of scientist has a gun?
You got murdered by a regular nerd in a lab coat. I hope you feel pretty embarrassed there, Mike.
Fully mortified.
Commenter Sir Him, meanwhile, is here with this observation. Gordon Freeman was a nerd in a lab coat at one point. I'm pretty sure Mike has nothing to be ashamed of.
Right, so I just came up against the alternate 1960s universe version of Gordon Freeman.
Sure, if that makes you feel better about the situation.
It does. Moving on, here are your comments on last week's show all about Far Cry 5 and the best good dogs in games who deserve all the credit. It might seem like a bit of a step back to go to Colorado, but actually that kind of like faded Americana, sort of, you know, small town, kind of stuff really appealed to me from what I've played so far.
Commenter Classics Major is a little bit more observant than Mike and Andy, saying, isn't Far Cry 5 set in Montana? Why do they keep saying Colorado?
Ah, you passed the test.
You weren't just confusing it with Colorado and Hitman?
No.
Okay, commenter Bad Request would like to add, I agree that 3 was the best Far Cry game, but I still don't get why the animal chosen to represent gunmanship was a heron. Just why?
Have you ever seen a heron handling a gun?
Just deadly.
And commenter Joe Mama has another suggestion for our list of dogs, saying, Sam from Sam and Max, he's a good boy. Well, relative to Max anyways.
I mean, that isn't hard.
He's not a real guy, Sam. Can I keep his head for a souvenir?
Finally this week, your comments on this video about the video game hard modes we will never, ever attempt, let alone finish.
Some games, however, take the whole overcoming adversity thing and crank it so hard the dial falls off, creating brutally difficult game modes that only the seriously skillful or willfully masochistic would want to take on.
Commenter Laynad Link has a suggestion, saying, Ride to Hell Retribution on any difficulty. You can barely play the first 10 minutes without having the urge to jump from your window.
Ooh, that is tough. Commenter Ica Lizzie, on the other hand, asks, has anyone beat Fallout 4 in survival?
Ooh, I have.
They go on to say, be honest.
Oh, right. No, in that case.
Commenter Dan Gaval goes on to ask, grounded mode and grounded plus in The Last of Us.
Yeah, grounded mode is hard on account of how your parents won't let you leave the house. Makes it tough to get around.
Okay, I'm going to go back to the sofa for a bit.
That's cool. I've got some audio diaries to record. Ideas for plasmids. Firing hot butter. Good for popcorn. Dominion over herring. Ooh, hands that fire tiny hands. Good for slapping enemies. Yeah, it needs work.
That is everything for this week's show, but before you go, I am having a sale on Oxbox, which is Oxbox's virtual currency. For this time only, you can buy a bundle of Oxbox for the low price.
Whoa, hang on, sorry, why do we have a virtual currency?
Everyone's got a virtual currency, Andy, come on.
I don't think we should be having microtransactions in the show.
Oh, fine. Okay, well you can earn them with by not spending real money. You can press the like button for 1 Oxbuck.
Yeah, that's probably a better bet. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
All right, happy now?
What do you even get with
Mr.
Oxbox?
Integrity.
All right, lunch?
Almost. I've just got to press the like button a few more times and I'll have enough Oxbucks for a new customization option for you, Andy. And there we go. Ah, see? Worth it.
We are going to be at EGX 2017.
For all 4 days of the show. It's the 21st to the 24th of September.
And we, by which I mean Outside Xbox and Outside Extra, are all going to be there
at the Birmingham NEC.
Meeting you guys.
It's a huge video game show with lots of video games you can play, but also you can meet us.
We're going to be doing free signings.
Yeah, anything you want signing, we'll do it. We've got no standards whatsoever. We'll sign anything. Contract, selling you our soul.
Adoption papers.
Sure.
Blank checks, not novelty ones, like the big kind.
It's fine, we just happy to be wanted.
That's not all. If you're there on the Saturday, we're going to be doing our first ever live show.
At 5 p.m.
Imagine what that could include. If you've got any good ideas, do tell us, because we have nothing currently. So
there will be an Outside Xbox and Outside Extra live show.
So we'll be playing games,
just chatting it up,
having lots of fun on stage.
You can walk all the way around us, get the full 360-degree immersive experience.
I think it's fair to describe it as an extravaganza.
You can see what the back of Andy's hair looks like.
If you're there on the Saturday, you have a ticket for the Saturday, you can also purchase, for a small additional fee, a ticket to the Outside Xbox Live Extravaganza, the Oxtravaganza. Maybe we'll call it that. Someone write that down, that's quite good.
And we'll hopefully see you there.
It's going to be an Oxtravaganza like you've never seen.
Will Luke and Ellen be there?
Luke and Ellen will be there, of course. You guys, Luke and Ellen are going to be there. Wouldn't be a show without those guys.
Good.
Tickets for EGX are on sale right now. Tickets for the live show go live on the 21st of August.
So internet run, don't internet walk across the internet to the ticket website.
Link in the description.
I don't know what you're sitting here listening to me talking about. You should be on that website right now if it's past the 21st of August.
We're going to be in the show, at the show, all around the show. We'll be right behind you at all times.
Sounds really threatening.
No, much less threatening than that sounds.
I assume if you've made it to the end of this video and you're watching this bit, then you can at least tolerate us. So why not tolerate us in person at EGX by coming along to one of the days. We would like to meet you guys. Hopefully you guys want to meet us too. Come along, get involved.